Adolfo Davis grew up on the south side of Chicago, raised by his overworked grandmother. Adolfo's mother was addicted to crack cocaine, and his father abandoned her and his son immediately after he was born. Adolfo's criminal tendencies started young. His grandmother struggled to feed Adolfo, so 6-year-old Adolfo resorted to shoplifting in order to take care of himself. When he was 10 years old, he went to a juvenile detention center for stealing $3 in food stamps and 75 cents from a girl. Adolfo Davis did not have a good role model to teach him right from wrong, let alone take care of him. 2 years later, Adolfo joined the Gangster Disciples. The Disciples were known for drug trafficking, robbery, extortion, murder, and prostitution.
When he was 14, Adolfo accompanied 2 fellow gang members to a rival drug house, which they planned on robbing. The 2 gang members shot 2 occupants of the house. Although Adolfo didn't murder anyone, he was accused of being an accomplice. Despite being a minor, he was sentenced to mandatory life in prison without parole. In April of 2015, when he was 38, he was granted resentencing hearings, thanks to Miller v. Alabama, which ruled that the mandatory life sentences for juveniles were cruel and unusual punishment. Unfortunately, he was resentenced to life in prison.
The defendant's acts showed an aggression and callous disregard for human life far beyond his tender age of 14. The defendant, now a 38-year-old man, has done some good, sensitive paintings, alleged poetry, and a desire to make amends to society. He obtained a GED and certificates in prison. However, these commendable acts toward self-improvement and the support he has received from well-meaning but uninformed persons are not sufficient for this court to alter his sentence, even considering his tender age of 14 when the crimes were committed.
Judge's decision, I'm angry. I'm more concerned about his whereabouts now, and we're going for the appeal, and I'm just hoping things turn around in the next couple of years. I know it's going to take some time for the appeal, but I think she pretty much had her man made up. But I think he really deserved a second chance. 24 years is enough time, considering the fact that evidence never proved that he was inside the house or anything. I think the day we went to court, I think she pretty much just had her man made up and just was ready to come on forward. She discredited all his witnesses, and I think that was so unfair. And I'm just very disappointed. I'm upset.
Where do you go from here?
Oh, we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to fight.
Adolfo Davis is in need to justice because of his tragic childhood. He did what he did in order to survive because he had no role models, no one truly taking care of him. To make matters worse, he was not responsible for the murders of the 2 occupants. He was an accomplice. The criminal justice system should take into account people's upbringings and background when sentencing them. Oftentimes those, like Adolfo, who have to fend for themselves at such a young age, get themselves into trouble. They turn to crime in order to survive. It's easy just to steal money or goods, especially when your family is broke or homeless. If judges considered people's background stories when sentencing them, people will go to jail on a sentence that they truly deserve. Specifically in Adolfo's case, the court should take into account the fact that he had no home or anybody to take care of him, and therefore he should not be tried so harshly.